Great. Hello. So we're going live right now. This is the AFDigital live stream. Welcome, Salesforce enthusiasts and fellow entrepreneurs. Today, I have a very exciting episode of our podcast. I'm your host, Leonard. I'm the CEO of AFDigital. And today we have a very special guest joining us, someone who has revolutionized the e-commerce landscape with their innovative platform available today on the App Exchange, built on Salesforce platform. I'm thrilled to introduce Mikel Lindsaar, the CEO and founder of StoreConnect. He's got a wealth of, there's both of us. Here we are.
Okay. Technology, hey? Technology.
Yeah. So, Mikel's got a wealth of experience in the tech industry. Mikel has built an impressive portfolio of successful ventures, including being the driving force behind Reinteractive, the largest Salesforce Heroku and Ruby on Rails focused app development company in the world. Mikel's passion for empowering businesses and delivering confident software solutions led him to create StoreConnect, a game-changing e-commerce solution that seamlessly integrates with Salesforce.com. StoreConnect provides Salesforce customers with a powerful e-commerce platform, delivering both immediate results and long-term scalability. Join me in welcoming Mikel Lindsaar to our podcast as we dive deep into the world of StoreConnect and explore how it can transform your e-commerce operations. Mikel, thank you for being here today.
What an intro, Robin. I don't know how I'm going to live up to all that, but that was pretty wild. Thank you.
Oh, we're really excited. And it's awesome because we're here live streaming. We've got people already messaging us, which is great. So thank you for all of those that are joining today. We're going to just go through a round of questions and interview Mikel. So very excited. Great. Well, let's start. And also please ask questions. So if you have any questions for Mikel, we'll bring them up on screen. We've already got a couple of questions that have come in. So we'll start with the first one. All right. As the founder, how do you describe StoreConnect?
Yeah, good question. So StoreConnect connects your in-house sales, like your sales team, your online sales, such as your website, as well as your in-store or in-person sales, such as point of sale, that sort of thing, all into Salesforce. So when you install StoreConnect, you can then turn off, for example, Shopify, your point of sale system, you can turn off WordPress, your blogging software, and have all of that being run out of one platform inside of Salesforce as a direct communication. But really what we really allow you to do is we help small businesses become customer companies. So there's a lot of talk in the Salesforce ecosystem about, customer companies and how to become one. And we help bring that to the small to medium businesses out there who are trying to cope with all of the change that's happening in this industry and how do they go ahead and implement it, right? So it's all well and good to see some of these presentations which are directly focused at multi-million and multi-billion-dollar businesses that want to innovate themselves into being a customer company. But we really felt that there was a need for someone to help small to medium businesses do the same thing. And that's what StoreConnect's all about. We help people become customer companies.
Wow, that's very that's a great vision. That's very aligned with Salesforce. How can you maybe be a bit more kind of specific around the platform and what is it actually?
Yeah, so as it's a complete replacement for your existing e-commerce solution, your point of sale system, and also your content management solution. So when customers join us and install StoreConnect within their Salesforce environment, StoreConnect is an App Exchange product. So it's available on the App Exchange to install. You can do it with a free demo and free trial and all that sort of thing. Once you've installed that, you can then start migrating all of your e-commerce, all of your website solutions, all of that onto StoreConnect and run that and manage that directly out of your Salesforce environment. And then you can turn off all of those other e-commerce and point of sale and website solutions that you're running. A lot of companies are out there with multiple different software stacks that they need. They might have 2 or 3 e-commerce websites. They might have different CMS applications. They might have point of sale system somewhere else, or even they want to go to a trade show and they're not traditionally point of sale, but they need something at the trade show to sell some tickets or sell some merchandise or something like that. So StoreConnect can take all of those systems, replace them, and just have one location to do all of that work. And that's really our unique selling position, is that go-to-market of how do we actually save that client time and money, consolidating all this into one platform.
Thank you, Michael. And wait, so just to be clear, you said point of sale as well as e-commerce, because you've been known as an e-commerce platform. Tell me more about the point of sale side.
Yeah, this has been something that we've been working on for quite a while. Building out e-commerce on Salesforce is one thing, right? But what we really spotted is we have a couple of clients who are being our launch partners with this, and this is all really exciting. But one of the things I've noticed when I go into a store is the company's retail environment doesn't really have the data about me for what I've done on their website. You know, if I go in and I've just bought this widget or this expensive product online, and I want to go into the store and I want to buy a spare part for it, it's usually quite difficult for that store and the cashier to be able to go, or that store assistant to be able to look at my purchase history and go, oh, you need the spare part for model ABC, not DEF, right? So having that data all unified is been a goal of mine, because I didn't enjoy it when I went into stores. So what StoreConnect does is we actually have a point of sale system, which is already live in one store as like a launch beta testing site. And we're launching it into a couple of quite large retail stores before Dreamforce. It'll be live. And that's going to be really exciting, because you could make a purchase on the website, standing out the front of the store, and then finish that purchase and walk into the store a few minutes later and say, hey, I just bought this thing online. I need a blah, blah extension for it. Do you have it? You don't have to know what the number is or the model number. And if the assistant is not sure about what it is, they can pull up their point of sale on their iPad in store. They can look at that, look at your purchase history, look that up and go, oh, you bought the -1 variant. Yep, we have that feature over here. Here, take this, buy it, boom. You can buy that feature, walk out of the store, and before you get to your car, you could have been emailed the thank you letter, everything else, all driven from within Salesforce using all the powerful tools within Salesforce, like Marketing Cloud and everything else. So it's quite a game changer on how that works. I'm not sure. I can't actually hear you, Robin. Are you muted?
Oh, I'm muted. There you go.
Doing it live. That's what we want, the technology, right?
This is live. That's why, ladies and gentlemen. But no, Michael, that's really great, because it's actually a gap in the Salesforce ecosystem. On platform, there's no point of sale solution. They have an online commerce feature and mobile app, and they have all sorts of other areas. But point of sale is something that Salesforce doesn't actually have natively. So having a product that fits that gap and is like it's continuous with your e-commerce browsing experience as to your in-store purchase experience, that's amazing. That actually solves a major problem that most companies
and there's another
have.
Exactly. And there's another point on that, which is that same. So, at the start, how I said we help small businesses become customer companies, right? Becoming a customer company and becoming focused on your customers is critical these days. Salesforce just released an article that points out that I think 80% of customers will leave you. No, 30% of customers will leave a brand they love after one bad experience, right? Which is terrifying if you're a small to medium business. How do you provide that great experience all the time? And when I call a company about something I've bought, I want them to know who I am, what I bought, when I bought it, is it under warranty? I want them to know all of that stuff. I don't want to be sitting there explaining what I bought and when I bought it and how I bought it. Yet existing systems, clients might have a a support software over here, and they might have an e-commerce package over here, and they might have a point of sale system over here, and they'll have their CRM over here, and they'll have their marketing system somewhere over there. And none of these things are really fully integrated. They might have some connectors, but they're not one system. So with StoreConnect, what I saw as an opportunity here is we can connect all of your virtual and in-person stores to your CRM, thus the name. And that means that when I call up your support team and say, hey, I just bought the widget, that support team has full access to the purchase history. They can see all the things I've purchased and why. And they go, oh, you bought that widget. Yeah, I see you just put through an order online for this spare part. That's actually the wrong spare part. Let us fix that for you. You know, being able to proactively provide your support team with these tools without them having to tell your customer, please let me put you on hold for a minute while I log into the other system. Oh, the other system's being really slow at the moment. Sorry about that. Yeah, just wait a minute while I try and find that record in this other system. Or, oh, you've got 2 records over here. Are both of these people you? You know, let's get rid of all that. Computers are now smart enough to deal with that. So we want to help small businesses achieve that. And that's why we built StoreConnect, really targeted at that SMB market. And I mean, to that point, it's also priced to the SMB market. So you can get up and running on this very affordably and very, very rapidly.
That's really great, and thank you for that overview. That was really comprehensive in the sense, you know, we've got an all-around feel for what StoreConnect is. I think let's go to the audience now. We've got a few questions coming in. Thanks, Jeff. Let's go, and Tobias, thank you. So I think next question. All right. How did you start StoreConnect?
The origin story. Well, I was in Reinteractive, so we build custom web software, and I kept getting asked by companies to build e-commerce platforms, which, look, to be honest, blew me away, because I honestly thought that e-commerce was a pretty solved problem. And if you look in the market, it definitely seems that way. There are so many ways that you can launch an e-commerce site, you know, this afternoon with a few clicks, that it was confusing to me why small and medium businesses were coming to us to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars building out completely bespoke e-commerce platforms. And after doing this a couple of times, you know, I mean, the money was great and everything, but it was a bit like, why? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So I went digging a bit and I asked some questions. And one of the most common responses I got to why are you spending so much money on something that you could pay $100 or $1,000 or $5,000 a month on Shopify, the biggest thing that came back was getting access to the back-end data. Because you have to realize e-commerce, part of the transaction is how you interact with the customer. And look, that's really important. You want that to be fast, snappy. You want it to be the best experience possible. But from what I just gave in that intro, a lot of the hidden aspect of running an e-commerce business, or any business that's on the web, right, or has a website or does any sort of online sales, is what do you do with the data, and how can you actually utilize that data to grow? And what we found is that a lot of the existing systems had limited reporting capabilities, limited abilities to trigger automations and flows and all this sort of thing. And we just looked at that and I went, you know, what if we could build a Shopify-like experience on top of the world's #1 CRM and price that at a level where a small business could start their company from day one using Salesforce and this product, StoreConnect, which became StoreConnect, and then scale that over years and years and years and years ago, and never have to re-platform despite their growth. What if we could build that? And I asked a lot of people and they said, well, that's impossible. And I went, no, I reckon we can do it. So what followed was 3 or 4 years of, you know, really simple, easy, no problem work that resulted in us launching StoreConnect. And it's really turned into a beast of its own. It's definitely proven the hypothesis that there is a need for being able to access that back-end data. and it's been really interesting. But yeah, that's how we started StoreConnect. I then split it out into its own business, and here we are talking to the amazing AFDigital podcast. I mean, I don't know how we'd measure success any other way, really.
No, that's right. You've made it now. You've made all of us.
We've peaked. That's it.
Exactly. Oh, that's really cool. And I want to hear more about technically what's behind the scenes, but I think you're probably going to explain that. We've got some really interesting questions from the audience. And again, anyone that's listening now, please do submit your questions. We'll put them to Michael. Anything is open. So the next question we have is, what are the key challenges that StoreConnect fixes?
I think really it's that single source of truth for a customer, right? I've done a lot of sales calls with StoreConnect now. I've done a lot of demos across multiple clients. And one of the things that comes up the most, I think, is our clients are sick and tired of paying humans to get computers to talk to computers. And when you unpack that, it's amazing how much money gets spent in the market right now. You know, you might install best of class support software, best of class marketing systems, best of class CRM. But if you're paying staff to make sure that all of that data is flowing between those products, it's money down the drain. I mean, we live in a world where computers should be able to handle that. We met one prospect that was spending over $10,000 a month on tools like Zapier, just trying to get their e-commerce platform to talk to their CRM. You know, that's 120 grand a year. That's huge amounts of marketing work that could be done, or complete rebranding of a website, or total new product launches that are going by the wayside because all that money is being invested in really useless busy work of staff. And I think when we look at how do you become a customer company in the vision that Salesforce is pushing right now, you really have to go, well, what tasks can we automate? What can we get rid of? What can we remove the attention of our team off of in order to be able to reinvest that into servicing those customers? And that's really, I think, if there was one problem that StoreConnect solves, it's that. You know, sure, we do online sales. Sure, we can have an e-commerce product and it does those sales. But that's sort of like, it's not the core thing we solve for a customer, right? If all you want is an e-commerce website, go and install Shopify or BigCommerce or Magento or any Squarespace. You know, there's hundreds of options out there. If all you want is that, just turn that on. But if you want to become a customer company, if you want to become focused on that customer, if you want actionable data for your team to be able to deal with that customer on a day-to-day basis, live, real time, with a site updating according to the data that's in your CRM that you're capturing and all this sort of stuff, that's what we solve. And that's why you should look at something like StoreConnect and Salesforce. I know AFDigital are big on the, you know, the reason you have something like Salesforce is the whole, you sort of got to treat it as a staff member or something. I mean, how would that fit in with what we're talking about here? Does that, I know this sort of becomes a reverse interview, but I think you've got some really interesting insights on that.
Yeah, no, that's it's a great question. But yeah, no, I do think about it like if you were to have a salesperson and their ability to present product information, take an order and capture a payment, you know, like that's really a salesperson. So when we went through COVID, we actually, we were one of the first partners in the world, I think, to set up an e-commerce. We did it with StoreConnect because it was very fast and easy. And it was integrated into our Salesforce stack. Like we didn't have to integrate a Shopify or another e-commerce.
You were actually halfway through installing Shopify, weren't you?
That's right. Yeah, we'd kind of set up a proof of concept there and got our buy-in from our key decision makers. And then StoreConnect was just the easiest option to actually get it live and operational. And we're still using it. Like we're probably on our third iteration of our own StoreConnect site. So it's very much for us, it's the ability to have a salesperson go out there and talk to our clients and also our partners. We get a lot of referral business. So we can share product information with them that they can share with their clients. So it's a lot easier. They don't have to broker all of these complex meetings to get a price out of us.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Yes. So anyway, back to you, Michael. Great. What else do we have? So guys, if you want to send any interview questions, this is Mikel Lindsaar. He is the CEO of StoreConnect. StoreConnect is an ISV product of Salesforce. It's available in the App Exchange. It's an e-commerce plugin, if you can call it that, that's built on Salesforce for Salesforce customers. And it means that you don't need to integrate with another e-commerce. Also, it has a POS as well. So if you want to ask any questions to Michael about StoreConnect or about himself, please throw them into the chat. Thanks, Naga Naga. I'm not sure what you're saying. You are the discussion, but yes.
No. What's the topic of the discussion?
What's the topic? Well, it's Michael.
Yeah.
So ask Michael anything you like.
I am the topic.
Great. Okay, we do have a question here. Yeah, Michael is the topic. Great. Okay, here's a great one. How is StoreConnect different to Shopify?
Yeah, good question. Shopify is a fantastic e-commerce platform, 100%. Where StoreConnect is different is we capture all of that data that is happening on your e-commerce store and inject it directly into your Salesforce environment. So whereas with Shopify, you might have a store for Australia, a store for New Zealand, different stores for different product categories. StoreConnect, you just have the one solution, which is powered by Salesforce with multiple storefronts. So they're all looking at the same product data. And whenever an order comes in, that's going directly into Salesforce. So you're not having to rekey that data or have some sort of integration solution that's downloading the information from Shopify and uploading it into Salesforce and all the problems around that. Most of our customers actually move from Shopify to StoreConnect. A, because Shopify is, such a big player in the market. But B, the reason they're moving is that they're sick of this constant, data synchronization problem where they want to really start utilizing tools in Salesforce like Marketing Cloud or Service Cloud or Sales Cloud or, Field Service Lightning, all of these amazing products that Salesforce have and the upcoming AI tools that Salesforce have. And they're trying to do this, or they want to do this in a very time efficient and simple way. So where Shopify focuses a lot on the, the clickable installation and setup and fast setup for a single store with a single product category mix and things like that, StoreConnect is really much focused for the marathon. So we help you get set up through our partners, get all that up and running, and then you can just grow with StoreConnect over time. And honestly, you're never going to outscale Salesforce, right? And so you won't outscale StoreConnect. So we've had customers install StoreConnect from day one of their business, literally incorporate their company day one, day two, sign up for Salesforce and StoreConnect, and day three, start building it. And by the end of the month, be selling and grow from there. You're on mute again, my friend.
Always. All right. And one actual thing I found with Shopify versus StoreConnect was often in Shopify, when you need something extra that's not in the base template, like I need a click and collect solution, or I need something a little bit extra, like a member login portal, that you'd have to go to a plugin in the Shopify ecosystem. And if I had Salesforce, I'd then need to integrate with a plugin and with Shopify because I have two different databases. Right. So it actually constrains me adding features on Shopify or adding features and not maintaining a single customer view in my CRM. Whereas when you ask StoreConnect to do anything, it either does it or you just configure it as a kind of custom add-on in Salesforce, which you can do anything in Salesforce.
Yeah, that's right. And we have a name for that. We call it plugin purgatory. So we help customers escape from plugin purgatory and SaaS hell, right? Where they've got all these systems. So quite often a StoreConnect customer, we actually had one of our clients say this beautifully, which was the features in StoreConnect just do what I need. And if there's something that it doesn't do, I can configure it in Salesforce. Whereas when I'm going and looking for plugins, I'm always finding, he said, he was always finding 80% of the solution or 90% of the solution of what he needed. And he was always having to settle for 80 or 90%. And he said, look, that's fine for the first 1 or 2 or 3, but after you get to 10 or 20 plugins, each of which also is probably going to slow down the way your site loads and how fast it loads as another note, you start ending up getting 90% of an 80% of a 90% of a 10% solution, right? And this just keeps shrinking over time. And you end up with this mess of different subscriptions to different locations, and this doesn't quite talk to that the way you need. So all these compromises you're having to make on your data, and you're not really getting that information out. To give you a really good example of why we built it on top of Salesforce is really programmable. And we had one customer call us and say, look, for Valentine's Day, any client that buys over X dollars, we want to include a free gift. Seems simple enough. And he said, however, we don't want the client to know that we've given them the free gift. So we don't want it to appear in the checkout. We don't want it to appear in any email that they get from us. But we do need that free gift to appear in the order record that we're sending to our warehouse so that they can pick it. Now that becomes a pretty complex problem, right? And finding a plugin for that would be challenging in any e-commerce platform, because the trick is not showing it during checkout, but showing it afterwards. And we sent them off to the Salesforce trailhead. This person was particularly technical, so they could do it. And they went and learnt about Salesforce workflows, and they had programmed a solution within Salesforce using clicks, not code, that morning, and it was live by lunchtime. So this is where us being built on top of Salesforce really takes it to another level. You can, if we don't implement something, you could probably implement most of it within Salesforce and go from there. So you're really in control with StoreConnect.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. So we have a question actually from Naga. So there's a couple of questions there, but I'll just post this one. Do you have experience with Marketing Cloud? And I'll just follow on. Every e-commerce business mostly doing Salesforce Marketing Cloud to increase product sales through email and mobile messages and push. Maybe if you could talk a bit about that with StoreConnect.
Yeah, totally. So some of our customers definitely use Marketing Cloud when they're at the right scale and do all that sort of thing. But we have a very interesting model at StoreConnect. We don't do any implementations directly. We rely completely on our partner network to do those implementations and set up and all that sort of stuff. The reason we've done that is there are so many industries that we look after in StoreConnect that we can't possibly get enough resources internally to make it happen. So we have partners such as AFDigital, who are complete experts in Marketing Cloud, and they would then come in and help. They would then come in and help set up your Marketing Cloud environment to work with that StoreConnect data. But here's a really important aspect. Traditionally, when you're going down this route, you need to work out how to get that data into Marketing Cloud in the first place, right? From your e-commerce site, from all this sort of stuff. With StoreConnect, all of the data is already in Salesforce, right? So it isn't in some other database that gets synchronized once per day. I'm talking about when the customer makes a checkout on the website, within seconds, that order is in Salesforce with the account, the contact, the line items of the order, their shipping address, their billing address, their phone numbers, what UTM codes they clicked on the way to make that order. All of that data is immediately within Salesforce, which means that is immediately available for Marketing Cloud, which means instantly they can be put onto the right paths or the right workflows and the right funnels to then drive further sales. We had one company that is selling products, well, they sell bikes, and you can imagine it's a perfect Marketing Cloud use case, because if I, as a parent, buy my daughter a 12-inch bike because she's 3 or 4, then you can be pretty much guaranteed that in 3 or 4 years' time, I'm going to be in the market for a 14-inch bike because she would have outgrown it. Time travels at a constant pace, right? So at least as regards to children, although sometimes it does take longer than other times. So you've got a instant ability there to create these amazing funnels that go, well, Michael bought a bike in 2023. Let's make sure that a month before the date that he bought that bike in 2026, so a month before he made the decision to finally buy that bike, or 2 months before, we start sending him emails about 16-inch bikes for that same child, or 14-inch or whatever the right height is, I don't know, about 6-year-old bikes, so that we can be top of mind as that next birthday is coming up, to be able to give him the right solution and send him a special offer. Hey, you're a past customer for a 3-year-old bike. It's 3 years later. Here's 10% off a 6-year-old bike. That suddenly becomes, oh, yeah, hey, thanks. That's awesome. I was actually thinking about a bike. Now I've got a voucher and I can buy that bike. So this is where integrating StoreConnect with Marketing Cloud and those solutions becomes an absolute no-brainer and really powerful. And if you have any specifics around that, definitely hook up with AFDigital and they'll configure the hell out of your Marketing Cloud product and drive sales.
Thank you, Michael. And yeah, just to reiterate that, because StoreConnect uses all the standard objects, like it uses the order object, the contact, all of those kind of things, it's all available through the MC connector. So you just have to pull it in and then use it, and you can do any kind of complex automation. The master of the customer data with StoreConnect is really in CRM, which is like, it just makes everything so easy for Marketing Cloud.
Yeah,
so
we've got point of sale customers looking at implementing Marketing Cloud SMS solutions, for example, where a customer will buy something at the store, and because that synchronizes straight into Salesforce and then through the Marketing Cloud connected directly into Marketing Cloud, that customer could receive an SMS by the time they reach their car saying, thank you very much for your purchase. And do you know what I mean? Like, really, it starts providing these small businesses with the same sort of tools that the Goliaths of the industry have without the expense, and this is what I'm excited about with StoreConnect. We're going to bring a whole generation of small businesses up to a point where, because look, the killer thing that a small business can provide that Amazon will never be able to do is that personalized experience of dealing with Frank, or dealing with Joe or Julie or Sam or whomever, right? Being able to have that one-on-one experience, and I'm working with this small business and they know me and I know them, and that personalized approach, the large companies will never be able to achieve because they're just too big. So we can do that with our customers.
Great. All right. So I think we've got some more questions. And we've also got a time cap as well, 3 p.m. So
we'll smash through these. I get excited about this. Sorry, I just talk forever.
No, that's great. So here we go. Okay. What interesting client successes have StoreConnect had?
Where do I start? I'll give you one. We had a customer that was doing about 3,000 orders a month. I won't name the name. And which isn't a lot. Like, it's not a lot for an e-commerce product to have to handle, honestly. It's pretty much run of the mill. And they put a rapid antigen tests online for sale on the 4th of January without letting us know, with no warning. And this was back in times of COVID when people were queuing at pharmacies to buy these things, right? And they went from 3,000 orders a month to 36,000 orders in a day and a half, which is their entire year's worth of volume in a day and a bit. And StoreConnect scaled up, handled the load with Salesforce, scaled down at the other end. Not a single order was dropped. Every transaction was taken. The site remained responsive and fast. They then spent a couple of weeks fulfilling all those orders because they weren't really expecting that many. However, that's a fantastic success. A lot of systems would just buckle under that load. Another one was a client that had multiple storefronts in multiple regions. So we're talking about, currently they have 31 stores across something like 17 brands in 4 countries. And when they started, they had all of these sites on different platforms, BigCommerce, Shopify, multiple Shopify stores, multiple BigCommerce stores. And we've been able to work with them, and they've actually just trained themselves to the point where they just launched their own stores now. So they start launching the store in the morning and it's live by lunchtime. And they've just automated this whole store and product launch process using Salesforce and data import tools and things like this, where they can launch a new store within hours, whereas it used to take them weeks. So there are a couple of really good examples of using that power of Salesforce behind the scenes to really enable the e-commerce and enable that, rapid uptake of growth and things like that.
Awesome. That's great. All right. So next question is a funny one. Are you looking for investors?
Nice question. Not at the moment because, well, it's not actually announced yet, but we just had a really amazing seed round. So we'll be releasing a press release about that shortly. But what it basically means is we're funded now. I mean, we were actually going fine, to be honest. We didn't get the seed round to keep us alive or anything, but we spotted a gap in the market where if we added a certain amount of income or investment to really capitalize on that area in terms of sales and marketing, we could really accelerate our growth. So we found some investors that had some like-minded viewpoints on that. And we'll be announcing our investment soon. But it was very exciting time, and we'll see what happens, maybe in a year or two.
So guys, I suggest if you want to hear about this, maybe follow Mikel Lindsaar on LinkedIn, and
it'll definitely be posted there.
Yeah. So that's unfortunate. You can't share any more details.
Not quite yet. Sorry, I've been embargoed by my own team.
But no, that's very exciting. I mean, it's good to see that you've kind of got that that confidence moving forward, and very excited to hear more about what that is. Great. All right. So maybe this is a good question, actually. What is your vision for the future of StoreConnect?
Yeah, good question. Ideally, what we're after is time well spent. That's our slogan. We want our customers to spend their time well. And the vision of StoreConnect really is keep building out the basic tool requirements that a small business needs, small to medium business needs, in order to launch e-commerce on top of Salesforce and do it rapidly, do it fast, and then be able to grow with it, right? So we keep launching different features and products that provide the 90-95% use case for whatever's needed to be able to do that thing online. So for example, the point of sale system, right? This was a common thing that came up. It's like, yeah, we're on Salesforce, we're on e-commerce, but the other thing that's got all of our product and stock data is point of sale. And we're like, well, why don't we just build that? And we did. So now clients don't have to add all their stock data and all their product data in the point of sale system and then add it all again in Salesforce, right? And then add it all again for their e-commerce site. So we had one of our customers, for example, basically one of the marketing team's almost full-time job was nothing but keeping their 30,000 product pricing up to date between their e-commerce, the point of sale, and Salesforce, right? So by building out those sorts of features, the features that save our clients time and money and allow them to reach more customers, that's really our vision. We want to, if you've ever seen some of our ads, it's like we want less of this sort of stress about trying to run your business in the store and more time for you to go and enjoy with your mates or play with your family or whatever's needed that you want to do with your time. Because I'm a small business owner and I've been a small business owner, and I know the number one thing that I don't have is time. Of course, there's no unlimited fund of budget as well, but really what I need is more time, because if I have more time, I can do more marketing. I can do more writing of policy for the company. I can launch new products. I can do all these sorts of things. I can help customers more. So that's really the vision of StoreConnect. And where we're going with it. We'll keep building out features that save time of our clients and allow them to invest it into the things they want to invest. And that's where we're going with the product.
Very cool. Thank you, Mikel. Okay, I've got another very interesting question here. What do clients need to think about before starting an e-commerce site?
Yeah, right. I guess probably the biggest thing is, why are they doing it? And what is it that they want to get out of it? So there's probably a few categories of e-commerce companies. There's ones that are obviously e-commerce, right? They're a retail company. They just want to sell stuff. And they want to sell that online. And maybe they have an in-house store or they don't. They have a retail store or they don't. So in that situation, you want to really look at, if we do start this e-commerce site or we do install this new point of sale or whatever, how are we going to get that data from that system and utilize it to do further marketing and further communications to our customers and really get to know our customer. And I think this is probably the missing bit of data for a lot of small businesses, because there's lots of solutions out there, and sure, you can set them up and get them up and running, but how can you really utilize that data? Because that's the key. That's your intellectual property as an organization, is what do people buy? When do they buy it? What do they like? What do they don't like? What's your pricing? All that sort of stuff is really critical. And you want a solution that allows you to generate reports on that and modify, where you're selling stuff and different pricing and different products. So that's a really important thing. How are you going to use this e-commerce environment to become more of a customer company, to be more in tune with what your customers want? And I would say that's probably the number one thing you need to look at. The technology choice comes second, right? So once you identify what outcomes you want out of this, then look at the technology. And that would be what I would recommend for any company.
Great. Very, very good answer. Okay, next question we have for you. How do you buy and install StoreConnect?
Well, you go to the App Exchange, the Salesforce App Exchange. Just Google App Exchange and you'll find it. And then you type in StoreConnect and it pops up. You can then install it into an existing Salesforce org if you have one, or you can install our TrialForce package, which we have, which installs a fully product complete website with, sample products and some sales and things like that you can then play around with and understand how the relationship works between the published website and your Salesforce environment. You can then take that TrialForce org and actually turn it into a full Salesforce org if you want. You can then buy Salesforce and just run with it. But that's how you do it. I think one key thing to also understand is we provide full training and support for our clients and, of course, our partners. So we have a training website at help.getstoreconnect.com, and that includes free one-on-one training where we'll actually help walk you through setting up a store, getting it working, doing a purchase online, and having all that data end up in Salesforce.
I actually remember when we first set up our StoreConnect. I think it was me on the weekend and you on the weekend.
You installed it Friday afternoon, and we had it running by Monday, I think.
Yeah, that's right. And it was very much like a team effort, but you were very hands-on, and I was very lucky to have your attention. Now you're a big, powerful man. You probably don't have time for clients.
I have still done my fair share of installs, but yeah, it really comes down to, we've now built up our training. Like when Robin came on, we had very little documentation, very little training, very little support around that. We've since really developed that out quite thoroughly, and we have clients launching all the time now by themselves or with a StoreConnect partner. So it's now possible.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And I've personally used your support, and it's very responsive and very, very good.
Good to know.
Yeah.
They get to keep their jobs for another week.
Great. All right. So, 4 minutes left. Okay. Next question. What is on the roadmap for StoreConnect?
Well, we have point of sale going fully general availability before Dreamforce is the target there. So that's a classic retail consumer goods type point of sale solution. It'll be launching, and the client that we're launching it within has 4 retail outlets with a warehouse plus the online store, and that'll all be run by StoreConnect and Salesforce. So it's a really great example customer that's going live. The other thing that just went live is a full rewards points type solution. So with the current version of StoreConnect, you can add a points value to any product that they can earn or use to purchase. And we keep track of the points balance and all this sort of thing. So you can start having a reward store built on top of StoreConnect, either parallel to or on top of your existing StoreConnect e-commerce website. And then other stuff in the future, we're doing a lot of stuff around our theme development and a lot of quality of life improvements for our partners and customers on being able to fully modify every aspect of StoreConnect. So currently you have access to pretty much manage anything inside of StoreConnect, change the web pages, change the HTML tags. You can go as deep or as shallow as you want on that. But we really want to bring that to a full, complete done where every page of StoreConnect and every interaction can be completely modified and edited from within your Salesforce environment via some standard developer tools. So we're trying to make the lives of our StoreConnect developers as easy as possible and really build out that ecosystem of StoreConnect developers worldwide that are publishing themes and content that people can use and switch and change and select. So they're probably some of the next big ones that I'm allowed to talk about. But really, at the end of the day, every feature we build is trying to improve the time spent by our customers. So we're always looking for those, and that's what we're building out.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Michael. So if anyone wants to reach out and find out more about StoreConnect, what should they do? How can they get in touch?
The website, getstoreconnect.com, all one word, except for the .com, obviously. So getstoreconnect.com. They can reach out to me via LinkedIn if they want, Mikel Lindsaar on LinkedIn. And of course, on the website, just reach out, install the trial, go and do the certification course and give it a whirl. We'll be there and support you through it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Happy Monday. Thank you for joining me live. And
thanks, Robin.
Yeah, good luck. Thank you.
See you soon. Bye for now.